Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy DisBearity here, and I'm partnered here with my friend Derper here.
What's up, kings? What's up, slimes? What's up, queens?
Really? Yeah, that's Derper, y'all. That's Derper. And in
Yeah.
today's video, we're going to be talking about just purely Total War DLC and for a tier list here. So, as you guys know, Total War Warhammer 3 has only been out since, I believe, 2022, since February of 2022, and we only got a slither, like a handful of DLCs. So we're going to be talking about these DLCs, and then in other videos, we're going to be doing individual tier lists about each lord. So example here, this video today is going to be just about all DLCs in total. We're going to go like somewhat in depth. This video is not going to be too long per se, and then in future videos, we're going to go more in depth with what came to the table in terms of like the Ogre Kingdom, Shadows Change, all that good stuff. So, but I might include Ogre Kingdom probably with Champions of Chaos in kind of like in a small little mixture. But anywho, though, so the first DLC that we're going to be talking about here today is the pre-order DLC that came with Total War Warhammer 3, and that is the Ogre Kingdoms. So, Derper, since you're the guest here, tell me, how do you feel about the Ogre Kingdoms? What do you think? Do you enjoy them? Like, what is the gameplay like? Like, what do you think? What are your thoughts?
So, when the game first came out, everyone only had access to the people who played it at the time, because a lot of people didn't play it at launch. Was the Realms of Chaos map, which was a segment of the segment of the old world.
Yep.
With parts of the demonic realms. So when Ogre Kingdoms came out, everyone was sort of excited because before the game came out, there was rumors it was either going to be Ogre Kingdoms or it was going to be Chaos Dwarfs. Like, those were the rumors, but when it was confirmed it was Ogre Kingdoms, a lot of people were excited.
Yep.
So when they first came out, they played pretty well, because similar to when CA gave everyone a taste when Total War Warhammer 2 came out, and there was the Ogre Mercenaries sort of deal.
No, I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
Where you could recruit 3 types of ogres. I think it was Ogre Bull. It was like normal Ogre Bulls without any weapons. It was the Pirate. I can't remember the unit name. It was the Pirate. It was the ranged one with pirates, and then the Mournfang Cavalry as well. Those were the 3 options you could have picked in Warhammer 2. So when they came out in the third game with the full roster, it was pretty good. They had everything that a lot of ogres, like more ogre variants, some of the beasts that came with it. Obviously, Noblars, the sad little slaves for the poor ogres.
Yeah.
And they came out with the 2 legendary lords, which was Greasus Goldtooth and Scrag the Slaughterer, which was pretty good. In the Realms of Chaos map, it was good because ogres had a unique thing called camps. So it was like their own settlement, and it was the only settlement that allowed you to get access to their higher tier units, because anytime they captured a normal settlement, they could only take it up to tier 3, which didn't give them access to the full roster. So that's why you had to make use of their camps.
Mm-hmm.
So Realms of Chaos, they were very good because not every settlement was close by. You could plant a camp down. It provided bonuses, kind of like a Dark Elf Black Arc, because Ogre also had, similar with Skaven, another income for their units called food, or meat. And they needed meat to keep up, and they could spend that meat for different resources, as well as activate the big names, which provided each Ogre Lord like a benefit, and they could only have like 1 big name active at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But later down the track, when Immortal Empires came out, that was a big map that included everyone. They kind of felt a bit short because it was hard for them to even process with the camps. A lot of people didn't enjoy playing the Ogre Kingdoms because the camp mechanic wasn't as fun with all the settlements close together. So downfall, Ogre Kingdoms slightly, in my opinion, need a tweak furthermore for any future things.
I totally agree. Ogre Kingdoms, to me, like, as they are, they're pretty, like, in terms of gameplay and DLC, as a pure DLC, fine. I feel like as though when it comes to pricing, they should be like $6. I don't know. That's just me though. Because to me, honestly, their gameplay in like campaign wise, it's kind of boring. But in terms of like multiplayer though, they're pretty fun and multiplayer because you can do like some different things. And yes, it's as you stated. And when it comes to Immortal Empires, their whole camp mechanic just breaks apart basically, because either the AI doesn't know how to use the camp mechanics correctly, or the opponent's AI can like just get rid of them easily and abuse that. So, you know, they did have a couple of start position switch move overs. You know, so they moved Scrag the Slaughterer over, way back into Estelia territory, or the Southern Realms territory, and that kind of helped them out a little bit. But in terms like just overall mechanics of the Ogre Kingdoms, I feel as though that they need to definitely be reworked. Just like, and I feel like that they are going to get reworked, just like every other faction, but only time will definitely tell. But at least in my opinion, I would have to give them an F in terms of DLC. What about you, Dripper? How do you feel?
I do kind of agree with your point with the F tier, but at the same time, I still wish we had like a middle tier. That at least put them at D at least, because it's still pretty fun to play. Like, if you enjoy playing Ogre Kingdoms from start and Immortal Empires, you can easily do that.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, I feel like in between F and D is my opinion so far with how the game currently is right now.
So something like we could put them in F, but we can probably add them into like what, F, probably F plus if I was to actually have that option at F plus. Yeah. So let's go ahead and slip them in right there. So the next DLC that we're going to talk about here that came out next is a very unique DLC, and that is Champions of Chaos. Now this one, honestly, I think might have to be my second favorite of the DLC so far, and that is because they added my girl Valkyria the Bloody. Yeah. But also though, this DLC did a major rework of all Champions of Chaos in terms of their systems and mechanics. So as you know, in Champions of Chaos, we only had originally we had Archaon the Ever-Chosen, we had Sigvald the Magnificent, and we have Kolek Sun Eater, right? Mm-hmm. Now with Champions of Chaos, they added Infestus, Valkyria, Azazel, and Village, the course. I don't know why I keep forgetting about Village. The Cursling, I'm sorry. I don't know why I keep forgetting about him. He's like the little troll in the corner, man. And so one of the cool things about this DLC is that it put a lot of effort into making Champions of Chaos feel less dull, I guess you could say, by giving them a mechanic upgrade system where you can actually upgrade your units and make it into like a different tier units. Like example here, you could turn regular Marauders into Forsaken, or you could turn them into
Chaos Warriors.
The Chaos Warriors, yes. And so that's really cool mechanics, really cool mechanic. And then also they have a system to where, what's it called? Their I don't want to call it their castle system, but you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Or the offerings?
Yes, they have the offering system, but also what is their settlements called?
Fortresses.
Yes, they have dark fortresses, which is like their main settlement, and then any other settlement that they get is like offerings, if I recall, to their dark fortresses. But also each Chaos Warrior has their own different mechanic, which is really cool, really unique. Now, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since I played some of the Champions of Chaos, for the simple fact that during the time burnout time, because no DLC for Total Warhammer 3, I quit playing Warhammer for quite a bit. And so it was a while before, like, it's been like, I think like a year or two since I played as Valkyria or play as Village. But also though, mostly I play as the Empire. But with a lot of the additions that they added to the DLC, I mean, it felt like a nice little refresh to Chaos. I'm not gonna lie, it was like, put it like this, it was like their DLC. It was like Chaos's time to shine. And I will say they were pretty strong on release. Now, what are your thoughts on Champions of Chaos?
Well, when they came out with this DLC, it was pretty good to see, because it felt like, sure, Warriors of Chaos were still pretty good, but they needed like a little more of a push. And it helped bring back the idea of the people who worship the gods, they feel like they should be rewarded. So that was the idea. So during the campaign, you could recruit like the base units of like Marauders, and then you can either devote them to one of the Chaos Gods or just keep them undivided.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good because once they ranked up, you could reward them. So it felt like it was what actually happens in lore. Like the more the people fight for their god, the more gifts and benefits that they gave him, so they could rise up.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty good that you could have like a basic army where you had some Marauders in it, and then eventually later on, if you kept them alive, you could turn them into Chosen of one of the Chaos Gods, or you can just turn them into Aspiring Champions, which is the Undivided one.
Yes.
But it felt good because when Warriors of Chaos first came out, they started off as a Horde faction. But now they made it they can take settlements, which is the Dark Fortress thing, as well as vassalize people to be under their command, because that's what happens with chaos. Like you fall onto their knees.
Basically, yes. So, with all that said, how do you feel? Where should Champions of Chaos be placed in terms of this tier list? I think it's
good.
Go ahead. You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Because they actually changed a lot of things, and it felt like a brand new coat of paint. It felt fresh. Something brand new, and not just lazy. Tacked on. What do you call? Tacked on stuff. Basically, it just felt fresh. So yeah, I can dig at that with finesse. Okay. We're going pretty good. So the next DLC, which is actually, I might have to. It's kind of hard to say like if it's my. I know I said the other one, Champions of Chaos was my second favorite. I might have to move that down to actually my third. Because there's a battle right now going on for second at the moment, right? There's a big battle going on. God, I don't know. Actually, we'll put Champions of Chaos fourth. This is a hard tier list there, but I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Because Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs, this DLC right here, y'all, was the DLC. Like, now, keep in mind, this was the first time Total War has ever bumped up their DLC pricing from the usual $12 to $15 to $25 for the DLC. This made a lot of people angry but the difference is that this was at least a full-fledged faction with a full-fledged I would say with full-fledged new mechanics, but there was some kickback though. And part of that kickback was that a lot of the mechanics that the Chaos Dwarfs use were actually recycled mechanics from other factions, such as the caravan system. But before I even get to that though, the Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs added in 3 brand new legendary lords, okay? They added in Astrogoth Ironhand, Jazoeth the Ashen, and Zatan the Black. Okay? These guys are very cool and very unique because as Chaos Dwarfs, especially since they use magic, by the way, in lore, the more that they use magic, the more they turn to stone. And so that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool in terms of lore, but it's also, the death of them, I guess you say, right? And so
dwarfs naturally aren't supposed to use magic.
Yes. And so that's why they use roots.
That's what it does, but since Chaos Dwarfs are not like dwarfs, they're like, fuck it, I don't care.
Basically. And so, this DLC here, like I said, it drew a lot of criticism because of the cost of it, and also a lot of the reused mechanics and stuff, which is fun. I mean, if you have ideas of reused mechanics you want to use and stuff, it's fine. Like they got the caravan system from Cathay, which I thought was pretty cool, pretty unique. It's a cool, pretty decent way to get more gold. And then there's other ways too, such as like getting armaments, if I read that's what they're called, in order to upgrade your units to make them more powerful, more stronger. Because them blunder boosties, as I like to call them, whoo, they would spank anybody's arse when they came out, man. I'll tell you that right now. They will melt down any soldier that you threw them at, which is really cool, which is what I liked about them. Now, out of this DLC, my favorite would have to be Astrogoth. His was pretty cool, and my least favorite was probably Jazoeth, because his campaign area, especially on higher difficulties, you really have to cheese it in order to get out of a bad situation at certain times. Now, like I said though, we're going to be going over these DLCs in more individually later on, so keep that in mind. Now, Derper, what are your thoughts on the Chaos Dwarfs here?
Yeah, when the Chaos Dwarfs came out, it was very good. It felt like it was a bit odd to the price increase and then also reused mechanics, but the reused mechanics were pretty fitting in a certain way. So yeah, they had the same caravan system as Cafe, but at the end, they didn't get like an item. I don't recall if they get like an item at the end, but it was just a way for them to help trade, because with the Chaos Dwarfs, they had different settlement types. So it was like Chaos Dwarfs was like also the industry simulator sort of deal, where you could either trade raw materials for money, slaves for like material ornaments, because ornaments is what they use to increase the capacity for their more powerful units, because as you know, Chaos Dwarfs aren't really a lot in terms of a hundreds sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know the lore exactly, but I know there's just very little of them, because it's not that easy for like a dwarf just the side of Chaos.
Yes.
Essentially because they worship not one of the 4 Chaos gods. They worship a god called Hashut,
Yep.
And even have a lore magic dedicated to him.
Yep. If I recall, was he called the Brass Bull? Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Brass Bull or something like that. So yeah, it was very good when they came out because they introduced like a whole new idea. Because you had different types of settlements, you had to build certain types of buildings if you wanted your better units. There will say their artillery layer when you get that late game is disgustingly OP because it just melts through so many people. Their war machines is so disgusting.
Yeah.
And similar to with the Tomb Kings and their constructs, they needed a certain unit in their army to be able to repair them because they wouldn't be able to get healed naturally in the field of battle. Which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So, with all that said here, with Chaos Dwarfs, I would actually honestly like to put them, I want to say A tier. Like, what do you think though, Dipper? What are your thoughts?
I'm thinking A or S sort of deal because it's very good DLC, brought in a whole new faction for people to play with. A lot of people probably definitely had fun playing with them, definitely enjoyed the idea of them sort of deal. But I think they either be like S or A sort of deal because it was pretty fun. The lords are cool. Some of their, especially Zatan the Black, his armor item active ability is a bit stupid. That's how it works. But I think S or A for me.
Okay, so what I'm going to do for you guys here is that we're going to add in a new row. We're going to add in a couple new rows. All right, Derper, so where would you say you want to place the Chaos Dwarfs here?
I mean, I'm stuck between S and A, so I'd probably say A plus for Chaos Dwarfs.
Yeah, A plus. That's not too bad either. Yeah, I was gonna say either S or A, so either way, or A plus. So yeah, that's actually not bad at all. Okay, so this next DLC, you guys, got a lot, and I mean a lot of controversy. Now, this DLC is called Shadows of Change. Before I even get into this, pre-patch 4.2, keep this in mind, guys. Shadows of Change gets an F plus. And now with that said, and the reason why is that this is the second DLC in terms of the price increase, right? And what was worse about it though is that they added in 3 new legendary lords, but not enough units to justify the price increase. So again, pre-patch 4.2, I would definitely say F plus. Now, with that said though, we're going to talk about post-patch 4.2. Now, with Shadows of Change, they added 3 new legendary lords. All right, they added the Changeling, which is actually, honestly, one of my favorites so far. I'm kind of loving this playthrough. They added in Mother Ostankia, and then they added in Yuanbo, the Jade Dragon. Now, with post-patch 4.2, it makes this DLC a lot better. Because first off, we, the people of Total War, we got on CA's ass for them to do better, basically. And this is what they did. They came out, they added in fresh, brand new units to make up for their failure pre-patch 4.2, and it just makes everything feel great. So when it comes to, these new characters, they all have new and different mechanics, as in Mother Ostanka has her cauldron to give her buffs, or what they're called blessings and curses to yourself and also your enemies. Then with the Changeling, you can indirectly attack and deceive AI factions throughout your campaign. Especially, I mostly played in Mortal Empire, so I don't have any Realms of Chaos experience yet. But in Mortal Empire, so that's how it's been for me, and I've been loving every single part of it. And then as Yuanbo, you, sir, are the Jade Dragon. Your main point is to recover all 4 compasses in Lustria in order to dominate Lustria. Now, with Depre, I know you like to go more in depth in this. What are your thoughts on Shadows of Change?
Okay, when it first came out, it was completely ridiculous, charging that much, and the DLC provided not so much. Oh my god, sure, they did a minor rework with Cafe with their harmony system, because it was annoying for a lot of people to try and keep that in balance with research, buildings, and characters. So I'm glad they changed that.
Yeah.
But everything else about it was not worth that price. because the thing that they've done now, I've noticed probably with future DLCs, is they're not including like a free legendary lord. So it's just like you get all free in the DLC, and that's it. Because it used to be you get 2 lords, and then there was a free lord to come out. But they changed that. But before 4.2, it was not worth getting. Like at that price and how they treated it, it was terrible. But now, since we're now beyond that terrible dark past, above our 4.2, they added in more units. They made it feel like it was worth it. They even lowered the price, I believe. I could be wrong. They made it actually feel worthy. So they made it pretty good. They added more units. They gave Grand Cafe a new lord type, a new hero type, because that's what they really needed. They didn't need all these fancy new units. With Mother Ostankia, they actually gave her a lore of magic, a lore of hag, similar to how her mechanic works with blessings and curse. Their magic also works like that, where it could be the normal version is the hex, and if you upcasted it, you made it the buff version, which is pretty good. With the Changeling and Tzeentch, they gave them more units because it didn't feel good that they didn't have a lot of units. They got even better flamers now, which is pretty good.
Oh yeah, they did.
They even have their own hero where you can turn the Exalted Hero into Tzeentch. Because in the past, if you had an Exalted Hero, it could either go to Khorne or Nurgle. But now, they made a Tzeentch version, so you can keep your army very Tzeentchy. And this also helped out with if you played Village, or maybe if you played one of the Undivided and you wanted a more Tzeentch-focused army, you can now get an Exalted Hero Tzeentch, so you can help keep that Tzeentch income up, which was pretty good.
Nice.
I know a lot of people, especially the bear here, rather prefer if the Exalted Hero was the dual sword rather than the halberd version.
I do, but it's okay though. But I do.
But after 4.2. They actually made it feel like a proper DLC. It wasn't just some half-ass like free content, because at the same time they also gave Cafe and Kislev legendary heroes like they did with Tzeentch, which was pretty nice. So now that if you play Kislev, you now have a chance of getting 2 legendary heroes, not just the one, which was Ulrika. And then Grand Cafe, they have their own one, which is pretty nice. Didn't
they add that one who starts with an H?
Harold Hammersword?
Yes, Harold. Yes.
He wasn't released with the patch. He was released, I think, before then.
Before
legendary hero. Yeah. I don't know when Harold came out. It has been a while that I'm thinking about it.
I think he came out around the same time as Shadows of Change. I feel like he did. I feel like, but I'm not for sure.
He came out 3.1.0. I think he came out the patch before.
Yeah. He had to.
Because with that patch, they gave more. They gave like an update to some people. They also gave, I think, more Regiment of Renown sort of deal. I think that's when they came after Regiment of Renown for like more of them for like Chaos Dwarfs.
Yeah. So, with all this said, Derper, I feel as though, again, like I said, pre-patch 4.2, Shadows of Change was a F tier. I'll say F plus, but that's the highest I ever go.
That was bad. It was so terrible what they did.
Yeah, it was. But post patch 4.2, I would have to give it a B. I think B is where it fits. They did it. I mean, they made a comeback a little bit, but they're still not there yet. But
yeah, I'd still give it. I agree with that B as well.
B is like in the middle. Go ahead.
Like they apologize. This is like the update. This is the way to apologize to their fan base because they did let them down because they were more ambitious on other projects. But I think B tier is the perfect place for it because it shows you, as when we come talk about the next one, how well they've improved.
Yes. So, like their percent just said, now this next DLC, I'm not gonna lie to you. This one actually got me back into playing Total War. Like, I literally said, damn, when did Shadows of Change come out? It came out last year, sometime in August. I said, holy crap. I said, that's crazy. Because that's how long it's been since I really fully played Total War. And now, with this Thrones of Decay releasing, oh my god, this DLC actually got me into this game. Again. So Thrones of Decay released, right? And they came out hard hitting with a tremendous amount of content. Well, first off, the DLC is still high priced at $25, but the difference is that you do not have to buy all the DLC at once. You could buy them for, I think, $8 to $9 a piece if you're ready for it. So that's really cool. That was the first thing that they did. Second thing is, like, they added 3 new legendary lords, which were Espen von Draken, Termacon, and Malachi Makaisen. So Espeth is of the Empire, Termacon is Nurgle, and Malachi is Dwarfs. So each of the gameplay is very unique and very fulfilling, at least in my opinion so far. So playing as Espeth von Draken, well, I'm not going to go too much in depth for her right now, but I like to say this. With this DLC, it came with a major rework for the Empire. And my God, the Empire needed this rework, because the Empire is surrounded by everybody. You are challenged by the Vamps, by the One-Eyed Beastmen, by Heimdall Kindler, by Thestis. You are always under siege. It was a challenge to get things done. So with this current Empire rework, it made things a lot better and a lot smoother. Now, I have very few experience so far with Termacon and Malachi, but I believe my friend Derp here has more experience with them. Let us know your thoughts on Thrones of Decay as a DLC.
Okay, so when Thrones of Decay came out, it also came with, like you said, the Empire rework and a Dwarf rework. I know they got another rework, like they did in 2.
It's like their fourth rework.
Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. So with the Empire rework, it was pretty good. They gave a unique mechanic to Carl and to Balthasar, which was pretty nice, because back in Warhammer 2, they gave Volkmar his own unique mechanic. That's why he started off in where the Tomb Kings are. Like, sure, some of the major Empire rework is sort of recycled, like the idea that when the Empire is in control of their own territory, they get benefits. If they're not, they lose benefits, similar to how if you played Alariel, if not High Elves occupied the settlements in Ulthuan, then she would get benefits. If they didn't, it would be negatives. So overall, it was pretty good. Each of them have their own unique thing. I will say that with Elspeth and Malachi, they each do their own thing to buff the mechanical and siege units of their armies. So that, to me, it felt like Thrones of Decay was like the War Machine update for both of them. The Nurgle update was definitely needed, but it's still, with the update, they're still kind of weak early on, but we'll talk more about that when we get to him.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, they brought everyone back in their good graces. The DLC wasn't that pricey, and then they made it you could buy them separately if you didn't want to buy the whole bundle, which was at a cheaper price. So maybe, like, for example, you're like Sean, like the Bear says, he loves Empire. So once if you like Empire, then, well, the only DLC you need to buy is the Empire DLC. Mm-hmm. If you want to play the new Empire Legendary Lord, all you need to do is play her. You don't have to, like, buy the whole thing to get them all.
Yep.
So it was very good that they did that, because they're now now CA is slowly getting back into the good graces of their fans, but they still have a long way ahead of them, because it takes more than a little bit of gifts and presents to appease someone after stabbing them in the back that ferociously.
Facts. Very much facts. I will definitely agree with that. So, with that said, because they actually tried and attempted and did a great job with this DLC, I mean, I might be a little bit biased here. Okay? But I'll have to say this DLC deserves an S. Maybe even an S plus, but an S for sure. What are your thoughts, Nipper?
I think S. I feel like if I say S plus, it'd be too much into the favoritism, because you gotta think there's still some things that can be done. But overall, since this is the latest DLC that came out, we still have patches ahead of us to see what happens.
That is true.
I think S.
That is true. So, with that said, you guys, like I said, we're going to be making more individual videos about each DLC. So keep on the lookout for more. Okay, for in the coming weeks and possibly months, but really just weeks for the most part. Keep on the lookout for our discussion on this tier list here, and we'll be going to in depth on the tier. So we're going to talk about the champions. We're going to be rating the not champions, the every character that came with the DLC, the lords, the heroes, and all that good stuff. So keep in their mechanics. We're going to be going just all out on that. So that video could be like between 30 minutes. It could be almost an hour long video. But just to give you an idea. So thank you guys for watching this video and listening on in. If you guys agree with us, let us know. If you guys disagree, let us know what your favorite tier list or what your tier list is on Total War in general. So thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for support. Derek, you have any last words?
Keep looking sexy, people.
All right, there you go. Keep looking sexy. Thank y'all for watching. Peace out. Much love. You guys have a good one, y'all. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also hit the bell notification down below. Thanks for watching.